All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are back to playing Call of Cthulhu today. We are continuing the Eternal Lies campaign that we started 10, 11 years ago. And we will finish in roughly 10 to 11 years. But last time around, we made a mess of things at a cantina and at a hospital. Various people were involved in those messes. And we'll see how those messes get cleaned up today and whether or not anyone makes it out of Mexico City alive. We'll see. We'll see if there's even a point in going to any of these other places. We'll find out.
We have hope. I'm not sure I have hope for my characters because we've talked about.
We finished Mexico City. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I'm
last
really
time around,
excited to hear you do the summary here. I've got to say this before. I want to know how you're going to do it.
Last time, Pastor Wood, you headed to the hospital, but you found that you were having to answer questions about your wounds. You told the staff that you were attacked by a flock of birds, which was not a lie. However, the doctors and nurses didn't believe you because that's how life works, Stephen. You can tell the truth all you want. Doesn't mean people believe you. You had all sorts of bite marks, and you also had signs of drug use. You had things of something called nectar that has been popping up a little bit within the hospitals these days. You had some effects in your eyes and such that suggested you might have recently used it. All those types of things. So the staff, as any good hospital staff would do, contacted the police, and that's when Detective Javier Gomez arrived and started to question you. And it seems that the police had received several reports over the last couple of days, just corresponding to the time in which you all arrived in Mexico City, of a man fitting Pastor Wood's description at various places around some suspicious activity. So while you were under suspicion, you were not under arrest, although you certainly tried to be, and eventually he kind of let you go. Eventually, you did leave the hospital, but you did find a maroon 4-door vehicle parked outside. That was described in the detectives and some of the conversation with the detective as being near the Novo facility, the record pressing facility that had burnt down. The two men came after you. They started to chase you through the hospital, but you did manage to hide in a patient room before slipping out the back entrance and into the night. So Pastor Wood got away. Good for him. Yay, everyone clap. Meanwhile, at La Paz, a cantina, a dive over in the Coyoacan district, the rest of the investigators met with Elena Alcatruz, Javier Luna, and Hernando Campos. Elena Alcatruz, as we know, is a cousin via marriage with Pastor Wood, and then Javier Luna is the lead singer of Javier Luna and His Grinning Fools, and Hernando Campos is the drummer of that band and in a romantic relationship with Elena Alcatruz, much to the chagrin of Pastor Wood. Now, the band members, they gave you some info. They testified to basically that Jonathan Brooks loves Leticia, but also is growing very paranoid, and how his nectar business hasn't really been doing very well of late. It's kind of taken a back seat to his development of Leticia's records. The supply of nectar has been inconsistent of late, and so Javier and Hernando were thinking of actually selling the meager vials that they had to fund their departure from Mexico City, because they were getting worried that Brooks might have them killed, like Brooks had Jorge Novo killed. At least that's the interpretation. Now, Javier got up, went to the bathroom, and while he was gone, Hernando, when being pressed, told the group that he had a strange vision about a mountain the one time he took nectar, and he also revealed that despite the band being blindfolded the last time that they were taken to Brooks for recording, he thinks he knows where the secret studio is. Now, Konovalov, who seems to be like the right-hand man, bodyguard guy for Brooks, a Russian guy, was threatening to kill the band and everyone they love. But despite that, he said, all right, I'll tell you all. And so he told you where the secret studio was, at least what he thinks is, which is by an old ruin near the corner of Moctezuma and San Pedro. And at this point, Marie, you went to check on Javier, who had been in the bathroom for an oddly long time, and you found him lying in a pool of his own blood with his throat cut open. A figure then lunged at you from the shadows, slashed at your back. You ran, you screamed, and then you caused a crazy-ass panic in La Paz. The trumpet player then leaped off the stage, pulling a knife and plunging it deep into Hernando's chest. And from the bar, another knife-wielding thug charged at Shima and Patrick, who remained in the booth. Bev, you grabbed Elena, you ran into the kitchen. Marie, you pushed your way outside like a lunatic, using the escaping crowd to slow your would-be killer. You saw a vehicle outside, and you saw another man, this time with a gun, who was kind of pushing towards you, but you kept fleeing, and you used all those other patrons who were also fleeing on the streets to find a hiding place from the various people who were chasing you. Shima and Patrick, you fought off the two attackers. Shima, you killed them. Patrick, I don't know if you listened to it long. You didn't really do much other than swing and miss, but you were there and you didn't go insane, so that was great. Elena, you separated from Bev because she didn't really like the whole damsel in distress vibe that you were trying to suggest to her, and so she went back inside to check on Hernando, who was crawling across the floor, blood pouring out onto the ground, and eventually she tried to help him into the kitchen. When all was said and done, Bev and Marie, you are now currently on the streets of Mexico City, each on your own. Shima and Patrick, you are in Laaz. You are covered in blood of the two dead attackers. So did I do okay, Steven? Did that meet your standards?
For context, Jeff is an amazing GM, not just on stream, but also outside. He's always very communicative. And he gives us session summaries ahead of each session so that we're caught up and refreshed and everything. And they're always very detailed and very useful. And they, especially in investigation games like this, they keep us going. And then today he gave us the session summary entirely in Spanish. Fortunately, I speak Spanish. I've got 22 in Spanish, language Spanish. So I was able to keep up with it. I didn't appreciate when he called me an idiot in Spanish later.
Didn't call you an idiot. I didn't call you an idiot.
Idioma.
That's not how the context works there, buddy.
Anyways,
goodness.
I love you, Jeff.
Uh-huh. Sure. Let's start up. We're going to pick up. We're going to pick up in Laaz. And we see Shima and Patrick. You're both standing there. Both of you got some blood on you. There's broken glass, broken furniture. You can see that at the feet of both of you are two bodies. You can see there are two bodies that are crumpled, broken, jaws broken, necks broken, bones, cuts, bruises, etc. These are the people who attacked you. You see a trumpet busted as well off to the side. And you hear the sound of this like woman's voice, half humming, half singing, and it sounds like Spanish, but neither of you are particularly fluent, but there's something different about it. You can see that around you, there were a handful of folks who, instead of running with Marie and the others, they hid. And you can see at this point, some of them are slowly starting to creep out. They look up at the two of you, covered in blood, scrapes, such here and there. And then you can see they immediately dart and run. You hear the swinging of the door as it opens and closes. Shima, you watch as Tonio, who had been behind the bar, he pushes into the kitchen. The door swings open. The sound of that woman's voice becomes briefly louder, and you hear like the sounds of what you think is Elena's voice, Benji's voice, that young waiter, and Tonio, as they're kind of yelling panic back and forth in the kitchen. What do you two want to do?
Seeing that's relatively safe, I'll run back to the kitchen as well, assess the damage.
Yeah, you go inside. You can see that up against one of the walls, like up against a shelf, you can see all different, like, foods and supplies and things. You can see Elena has kind of sat herself. She's propped herself up and she's pulled Hernando. Hernando's a very tall, very thick, muscular man. He's a big guy. He's probably like a good 6'3", 6'4" kind of guy. And she has pulled him up in her relatively stocky frame, and she's got him kind of wrapped up. And she's just kind of cradling him and rocking back and forth, and she's humming and singing some kind of song. Patrick, as you step in, you don't recognize the words. The words are not Spanish. You can tell there's something about the meager bits and pieces of words that you've gotten so far in your couple of days here, and that you've learned from Pastor Wood. It sounds in some ways similar, but not really. But you feel this little surge go through you for a minute, you can feel the hairs kind of prick up a little bit. You suddenly feel better. But when you look at the rest of the view, you can see that Hernando has a massive, one might call major wound in his chest. which is pouring blood. You can see that Benji is racing back and forth between one side of the kitchen and the other, picking up all these towels, handing them to Tonio. Tonio is like the 50-something Mexican bartender. He's got a handful of tattoos here and there, kind of gruff, doesn't talk much. And he's pressing them down on the chest of Hernando. And you can see they're all kind of panically trying to help him. You don't see anyone else in here. Bev, at one point you saw, ran in here, but she never came back out. And she's not in here. It's a small kitchen. She's not hiding.
I'll kneel down. Let me take a look.
They look up at you and they speak quickly, and it's in Spanish. And but you can understand, like, it's simple stuff like, "Are you a doctor? Are you doctor?" And like the whole time, Elena's just sort of rocking back and kind of singing in his ear here and there. Do you have any medical skills?
I have decent first aid.
Give it a rip then. Yeah, give us a first aid.
Oh, God. I actually failed. 89 over 75.
14 luck.
Oh, yeah. I have 41 luck, uncomfortably high, so I'll spend it.
That a boy. Okay. So when they're doing simple things. They're just trying to like stop the bleeding effectively, right? But like the wound is big, and you can see that whoever stabbed him, like it was center mass. It was like a perfect stab. You don't think it hit the heart. So you're pretty sure it avoided damage to the heart, but it might have like hit maybe a lung or two. You can even see that Hernando is struggling to breathe here and there, and every time he does, like a little spittle of blood comes out. So you kind of you sort of get Tonio to step aside, and he does begrudgingly, but he's watching you like a hawk, like he's gonna snap your neck if you screw something up. But you reach down, you kind of clean stuff away, you throw away some of the already soggy towels, and you make sure like they're using clean things, because at first like they were just using whatever was around, and you just kind of throw this away, throw that away, throw that away. But you realize that if he doesn't get to a hospital relatively quickly, or if he doesn't get this sort of address, he's probably going to need surgery. He could die.
He'll be all right. Just get him to the hospital.
Okay. Antonio looks at Elena, and Elena just sort of nods. And then Antonio calls out to Benji. Benji comes running over, and the two of them pick up Hernando. And again, big dude. Antonio's not small, but he's still small compared to Hernando. And the two of them pick him up, and you can see they're trying to carry him, and Elena's following at this point. We'll say that they go out the back, because there's a door right here in the kitchen. Elena follows thereafter. And do you go with them, or do you stay behind, Patrick?
No, I'll stay behind. Look for the others, see if they ran around the building. They're still lingering.
Okay. All right. While all that was happening, Shima, what were you doing?
Shima has a giant knife wound of her own. Yeah. And so as Patrick goes in, I think she's just, after the adrenaline has settled a little, she's kind of just standing over them and breathing heavy and looking around manically. And when she hears Patrick go away from her, which she hears and doesn't see because she is kind of tunnel vision, everything's just sort of pulsing, she will go behind the bar and look for like a towel to kind of like staunch the liberally bleeding side wound.
Grab like a piece of, like a bottle of liquor, and just pour it on there to disinfect. Give me
trying my best. Yeah.
So badass. Okay, Shima, give me a first aid roll on yourself. Can't remember if this is the game that has a penalty for that, but just give me a first aid.
We have some boosts if you want a little extra help.
You know what? Like Patrick, I also have entirely too much luck, so I will spend it. I will.
You're over 50. Oh my!
Yeah, seriously, dude. So I'm gonna spend my 26. Is it 20? I'm now.
Should be 26. So 26. Yeah, it should be 26. All right, you will get 1 HP back. and you will say that you managed to clean the wound enough that you probably won't develop any kind of infection. You find a clean towel back here, nestled underneath the bar, and you have like a makeshift bandage that should hold you over for a little while. You know that like it was a big cut. Like you can tell that it's going to need some stitches probably, but this will hold you over for now. Okay, you hear the door maybe from the kitchen open up, and then there's Patrick covered in blood. You no longer hear the sound of the woman's voice singing. And it's just the two of you now in a room with a couple dead bodies, broken bits and pieces all over the place, broken tables, broken chairs. The last of people who are hiding have kind of scattered away. You heard Marie scream and run from the bathroom, but at no point, I know as players you guys know what happened, but as characters, I don't think any of you know what she saw in the bathroom. So keep that in mind. But you did see Marie run out the front. The last you saw of Bev, she ran into the kitchen. So what do the two of you do with that knowledge?
Shima's gonna spray. I'm gonna try and get some of the blood out of the shirt in the washroom, and then maybe we can go and look for everyone else.
Yeah, take a look at the bodies here. Let's make it quick.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go to the washroom and try and.
Okay. That's a reasonable thing to do.
Clean up.
Yeah, you go into the washroom and you see on the ground, there's the body of Javier Luna. You see his beautiful face, slender, beautiful face, little bit of a mustache, pompadour type haircut. He's got like a scarf across his, not a scarf, but like a bandana wrapped around his neck that was kind of tucked underneath, almost like a tie. There's probably a name for it. And you can see that that little scarf, that little bandana has been slid off to the side, and there's this disgustingly deep cut that has gone across his throat, and blood is everywhere. Go ahead and give me a sand test, Shima, as you see this. This isn't just some rando. This is a person you've been talking to for the last 2
absolutely.
hours.
And also, she screams, and hopefully Patrick can hear that.
Okay. So while you're doing the sand, Patrick, you find on each of these guys, you find a knife and a gun. You don't find anything beyond that. So actually roll a luck test. Get a luck test.
Failed the luck.
Okay.
Failed my sand too.
Yeah, just a knife and a gun. They don't have any like specific orders on them. You don't see anything beyond that. They're dressed like normal folk, but they're well dressed. You can see that they have kind of nice clothes, and you can tell there's a couple tattoos here and there, some that are kind of hidden, kind of just underneath the collar. Like you see these kind of strange little symbols here and there, some on the wrists and such beneath the sleeves, but there's nothing else on them. And while you're going through that, you hear a scream from the bathroom, and it's Shima's voice.
I remember Marie screaming, going to the bathroom as well. So I'm hoping she runs out.
She is kind of backed up against the wall and screaming for the moment, but sorry, Jeff, what's my sand loss?
One sand loss. It's just one.
Okay. She does run out, and
okay.
Spirit says Javier Luna's dead. He's dead.
Must have been why Marie was screaming.
She goes back into the bathroom, assuming Patrick will fall.
I think we gotta get out of here. Cops and whatnot show up soon. Wipe my hands with the handkerchief. Peek out the front door, see if it's safe to get out.
You pick out the front door. You don't see anybody outside. You do see on some of the neighboring buildings and such, there are people like peeking out windows, standing at stoops, lights on. It is not ridiculously late yet. It's not like midnight yet. But it is probably like a 9 o'clock or so, like you've been here for a couple hours. You met them at around 6 or 7. You've been drinking and talking with them for about 2 hours. So it's probably around 9 or so. So it's not like everyone's just completely gone to bed, but you can definitely tell that whatever happened has drawn the attention of the various businesses, various homes, various onlookers, but no one's immediately outside. You can tell like it's cleared. You don't see any signs of Marie or Bev. You see that there's one or two cars kind of parked off the street out front, but none seem to be occupied.
I'll grab a coat and a hat off the rack. Where's that hotel staying at again?
I can't go out looking like this.
Yeah, just grab a coat off the rack. You're fine.
And he's not wrong. There is a coat rack. It is December.
Then
so
I will grab a coat off the rack.
So is that the plan? You two are going to try to work your way back to Posada Los Arcos?
Yeah.
Unless I'm mauling that too. I just maul all the languages. Inn of the Arches is, I think, what the translation is. Okay. Which of you has the higher navigate?
Trying to look for the skill here.
I have a whopping 10.
Yep.
I'm blind.
That.
Where's it?
You also have 10.
It's just alcobetically under.
It's an alphabetical list.
Oh.
But does Long know the alphabet?
One of you roll navigate. One of you roll navigate.
I have been rolling like crap on navigate, Patrick.
This is just
way.
how long it takes you to get back. That's all it is. It's not like you're going to get lost forever. Unless you crit fail. If you do that, then you might find yourself in a sewer with a crocodile or something.
79.
Okay, the two of you start
What's
heading
the place
back.
called again? I don't remember where this was.
You start going back to the other place first.
No.
We're going to cut to Pastorwood. Last we saw of Pastorwood, he had asked for directions from some of the people working in the hospital. Behind the hospital, I should say. And you pushed through some bushes and you just disappeared into the night. Now, you are not in the Coyoacan district anymore. You actually went somewhere else, so you don't really know the place very well. So give me a navigate roll as you start to push through.
My navigate is also 10.
I can't wait till I put you guys in the jungle somewhere. And
that is a nat 1.
Okay.
That is the second time tonight I've rolled under a 10.
Okay, what's the other die say, though?
001. 001.
That sounds like 101 to me, I'm pretty sure. Okay.
I'm a special agent, 001.
You very easily and quickly and deftly use the various, like maybe there's a couple street signs here and there that you're able to kind of get your bearings, and you find your way to a very prominent plaza, not too far from the hospital, but you know that kind of cutting through it and across it is going to lead you back to the district that you want to try to get to. You can see that the plaza is lit up. It's beautiful. You can see there's already like holiday decorations that are kind of popping up here and there. These poinsettias, like stuff kind of setting up here and there. And you can see there's lights being strung, lanterns, stuff like that. It's all very, very festive, at least early so. And you can see that there's probably a good couple dozen people lingering about, some like in a cantina and these little like, you know, sort of boutique type seats, like a small little table, 2 chairs and candlelight and stuff. And it's all very lovely. Like you can see people meet on a date night or something like that. And you can hear the sounds of music wafting in from some of the local fare. As you're passing by, you hear someone kind of calling out to you. You hear a voice. And you hear hola! Hola! Fierro! Hola!
No gracias.
You look like he's actually, like there's actually calling towards you. You turn and you see that there is a fairly elderly looking man just a couple feet from you, near the edge of like a entranceway down one of these alleys, because there's like almost like an asterisk. There's all these different alleys that kind of disappear down different routes from the plaza. You can see this elderly looking man. He's got these bony fingers and he's kind of waving you down. He's got a very large ratty coat on, and he's kind of pale, and he's kind of shuffling towards you, and he's like, tengo algo para ti. And you would know that Jeff's terrible Spanish. He's saying, hey there, traveler. I have something for you. And you can see
It's been a hell of a night. I don't have any cash on me. I'm sorry.
And then, like, as he's coming closer, you see his palms are against his body, but like at the same time, his hands are like always kind of moving around a bit. You can see his nose is runny, and he's got this grin on his face as he's coming towards you. And there's plenty of people around. Like, this is like, it's well lit, and he's got this big grin on his face. It's toothy, and you can see like he's missing a few. And he kind of opens his coat up, and you can see as he's kind of cutting you off as you try to politely move away. And he's dressed in these ragged clothes underneath. And he has, like, tucked underneath his arm under his coat, he has like this thick book. And he says, I'm sorry, Spanish speaking population of the world. Esto es para ti. Traja esto para ti. I don't know, I'm doing a terrible job. This is for you. I brought this for you, he says. And he's like gesturing towards this tome.
What is it?
Yeah, it is a book for you. No money.
Me.
Yes, no money.
And who am I that you wish to bring this book to?
Traveler.
I suppose that's correct, but I feel like everyone would realize that, considering the color of my skin. Sure, let me see it.
No money, but cost. A bullet, like the one you put inside the detective's forehead.
The detective?
See.
I haven't shot a detective.
That is not true. That is a lie. But that is okay. Yeah. Bullet for Tom. All. You can give me kiss like you give Carmela. Right here on the cheek.
How do you know Carmela?
He knows all.
Who is he?
Bullet. Tom. Kiss. Tom. Trade.
Let me see the book first.
Let me get kiss first. The cheek.
Mister, I don't know who you are. I'm not kissing your cheek.
Bullet. Just one. Can spare
Like
one.
I said, it's been a hell of a night, and I didn't bring any with me. Which actually would be true. I said I didn't bring my guns to the hospital.
Well, then, kiss it is. Right here.
Would I be able to see anything on the cover of the book?
It's just like an old. It's like the type of book that Bev or Shima might read. You know, it's got that. It does. There's like nothing fancy. It's not a pulp comic or anything like that. It's got like a. It looks waterlogged. Like, that's the one thing you can probably glean from it. It looks a little soggy.
Soggy, like something, like a massive tongue licked it for a while.
I don't know what that looks like.
All right, I give him a kiss, and I'm not happy about it.
You go up, you give him a kiss. His face is pale and kind of, you can tell he's very skinny and ragged. Snot coming down his nose, and he's probably wiped it on his cheek. So when you kiss his cheek, there's like a saltiness to it.
And he's like, oh, now I see why she loves you.
And
Mister, I don't know who you are, and I'm trying to be polite, but if you mention her one more time, I will punch you.
And he hands over the tome, and he gives you a little wink.
Adios.
And he starts to wander away.
Senor, what was your name?
Adios.
His name is Adios.
You see him just start walking down a nearby alley.
Flipping through the book.
Okay. As you start flipping through the book, You notice that the book contains what looks like page after page of woodcuts, etchings, photographs, handwritten stories, all depicting horrifically depraved acts of torture, mutilation, incest, bestiality, necrophilia, and worse. And you can even see as you're trying to turn some of the pages, and then when you close the book, that many of the images you can see are mouths biting, chewing, sucking, spitting, all that kind of stuff. And many of the pages are like glommed and stuck together. I need you to roll a sand test.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to avoid the sand test. I just don't want to be like showing all these images in a public place.
Yeah, that's fair. You don't, I mean, like, there's people who are looking at you, but they're not like staring you down. They just kind of walk past you and look over. Like, no one's.
Ah, shit. That's a 92 over 58. I'm rolling extremes.
Yeah.
2 points of sand loss.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you like to do next?
Slam the book shut. Put it under my arm. Kind of look around.
Soggy. Yeah. When you slam it shut, there's like this expulsion of fluid that just kind of comes up and gets a little bit on your cheek. And you put it underneath your arm and you feel the sogginess in your armpit as you do so.
And then I'm like annoyed that now I look like I just sweat on my left side only. Definitely losing it a bit. I'd be looking around the street, seeing if anyone else is watching me, any sort of sign of recognition or anything like that.
Roll a spot hidden test.
.004 under 89.
Okay. You don't notice anyone watching you, but you do see a familiar maroon 4-door vehicle pull up at one of these the alley entrances, and a couple people, like 2 of them, get out. They look vaguely familiar to you because you think you just lost them. They don't seem to have spotted you, but you can see they're starting to fan out into the plaza and they're looking around. They haven't noticed you yet. You're certain of that.
All right. Definitely want to duck into the shadows. And before, I was planning on going to the bar to meet up with the rest of the group. With the people following me in the hospital, with this book, with me seeing them again, I definitely want to go to the hotel and try to arm myself.
Give me a navigate test. Actually, no, you rolled really well. You rolled a crit, so I don't. No navigate necessary. You already did it. Okay. All right. So you dart down an alley, and you just sort of look for anywhere to go. Do you dart down the same alley that Adios left, or did you dart down a different alley?
Good question. I am curious about him. I think I would be definitely interested in taking the same alley to see if I see where he went.
Okay. You vanish down this one alley. No one sees you. You're pretty sure you gave those guys the slip. And you're looking for Adios. Where did he go? And then you see a lump on the ground in front of you. And you realize as you get close, it is just a heaping lump of this crusty, stained coat that he was wearing, but no sign of him.
Senor Adios, you lost your coat. And I don't want to touch a lot of it, but I would try to like feel the pockets, see if there's anything in there.
As you reach down to check the pockets, you see it moves, and then you watch as it kind of just dissolves in front of your eyes, and you see about 24 rats begin to scatter in all directions all around you. Go ahead and roll a sand test as this happens.
Oh, you baited me into that.
I just asked a simple question. I didn't even lean on the question this time.
Fail again. 61 over 56.
Just another 1 point of sand loss. And once all said and done, once all these rats scatter and disappear in these various nooks and cracks, on the ground, it's just this handful of tattered fibers from that coat. There's nothing.
Why'd it have to be rats? I'll keep heading back to the hotel.
Okay. We're going to cut to Marie next. Marie, you've been hiding behind a group of crates down one of the alleys a few blocks away from Laaz. And you heard the sounds of the crowd passing, the sounds of a voice of a man chasing you, that sort of thing. But you've been hiding for quite some time. Very good hiding place. What do you do? How long do you wait? What do you think?
I think she would give it 10 minutes maybe to just sort of stay put. She's kind of listening for the sound of any sirens or, kind of anything like that. Definitely trying to probably after at least 5 minutes, she might start peeking up every so often just to see if she can see that guy that she saw that had the firearm that was kind of chasing after her. Because that was danger number one.
Give me a spot hidden. Yeah, give me a spot hidden as you start looking around.
All right. So I'm trying to roll under 72, and I rolled a 52.
Okay. You look up and you peek and you don't see them. You see a handful of people still lingering. You see groups of people have congregated and you can kind of hear their voices. They're in Spanish, but you can see every now and then you might hear Laaz this or something like they're kind of talking about it here and there. And when you manage to peek around the corner down the street, you do see two things in front of Laaz. First, you see that the car is gone. You don't see it anymore. And you've been here 5-10 minutes or so. You've been out. This has all happened. This is all so while all that stuff happened with Shima and Patrick, this is what you've been doing. You don't see that car any longer. You're sure that he came out of it, but you do see a different car now pulling up. And you see getting out of it what looks to be a handful, looks like 4 officers of the law, 2 of which seem to be wearing some kind of uniforms, one of which seems to be plain clothes. And you can see they're getting out of the car, and a couple of them are pulling guns, and they're carefully going into Laaz. 1 or 2 are staying out on the street, and they're flagging down various people on the street to come talk to them. And some people will go and you watch as some people do go up and start talking. Others just turn and run away. So what do you do?
Marie would lean toward the latter, that she doesn't want to look too suspicious, but she wants to see if she can kind of take a wide kind of circle around to maybe the back of Laaz, because she, as she's been walking up, hasn't seen any of her companions. So she kind of wants to see if maybe they went out the back way and if she can kind of see them. So that's what she would try to do.
They could be dead inside for all you know.
They could be, but there's also 4 police there. So
okay. Roll a stealth test as you try to get out of your hiding place and try not to draw attention by any of these onlookers that are grouped up and any of the cops, something like that. Give me a stealth.
Okay. I'm going to take 1 audience boost, so this is a 50-50.
Okay.
And roll a 91.
Okay. You, as you're getting out from behind, you knock the crates over, and they just kind of stumble to the ground. Now, you're down an alley, so you're not immediately visible by any of the cops. That's the good news. The bad news is that you do see that there are a couple people across the street who had grouped up and were talking to one another. They kind of look over at you, and they're like, hola? Are you okay? Lady, are you okay?
Fine. Just, I'm fine. You okay?
Alicia! This lady is not okay.
No, I'm fine.
And don't forget, you're bleeding. Your stitches have ruptured from when you got shot yesterday. And so you have blood on your clothes. You have blood on your back from where you got stabbed. You look terrible. Alicia, she's not okay. She hurt. Woman, she is hurt. Come here. Vámonos. And then and they are kind of pointing in your direction. What do you do, Marie? And you get the feeling that the cops are running down the street towards you. You're in an alley. Think of it like perpendicular. They're running up the street. You're in an alley. You could go the other way if you wanted to, or you can wait. What would you like to do?
Oh, crap.
Want to crap with you, Derek? Just takes a squat right in the alley.
I've got 3 HP. I don't feel like that puts me in a good position to be sprinting away from police right now. So I think she takes her Lex, roll the shit stealth, and this is what happens.
Okay.
So
Then you quickly hear the sounds of boots and turn the corner. You see a young Hispanic man, Mexican man. He is clean shaven, a big bushy eyebrows, black bushy eyebrows. He's dressed in a uniform, and he's like, "Hola, are you, ma'am? Are you okay?" And he's like speaking. He starts in Spanish and he switches everything when she sees you. He's like, "Are you okay? Are you are injured?"
Yes, I'm okay though.
No,
but
come with me. Come with me. We'll get you help. Come on, come. And he like holds his hand out to you. And he doesn't have a gun out. He has a weapon. He's genuinely being.
Yeah. No, that's she'll take the assistance. There may be others far more injured than me. Just you make sure everyone's safe.
See, there are several dead inside. Were you inside? Did you see what happened?
There was and she kind of looks over to the other groups of people, and since like she was the one who was screaming and screamed, he's dead, she kind of has to stick with that. So she's going to say like, I just went to go to the restroom, and there was a body and so much blood on the floor, and I panicked and ran, but I did get hurt. I don't know what happened.
You did well. You got away. Good. You did good. It's okay. The violence is hard to stomach.
Oh, there was so much blood, and so she goes kind of dramatic. Just there's so much blood.
So you have several injuries. We should get you to a hospital. Oh, good. What is your name?
May.
What is your family name, last name?
Yes. Wynn. She'll just give her name.
Okay. May Wynn. Okay. I am Officer Blanco. I can help you. Okay. And you can see like there's other cars that are now starting to arrive as more cops are starting to show. I'm going to take you. And then he's got his arm on you gently. He's not like pulling you around, but he's like kind of holding on to you. And he's like Detective Gomez. And you see like there is a early 40s, late 30s man, big bushy mustache, who's plain clothes, who's standing in the doorway of Laaz. Door is being held open. You can see inside that there is all sorts of tragedy in there. There's no one that they're talking to. Like, he's very confused. It's like, but the survivor, she was a witness. She saw a dead body. And you can see this man comes over to you. He's like, hello, I am Detective Gomez. You are injured, I see. You need to...
I'll be okay. I guess I can just give my statement and then I can be on. I didn't see everything that happened. I just saw that there was a dead body on the ground.
Yes. Where did you see it?
In the restroom.
Did you see anyone who might have attacked this person?
Yes, the same person attacked me, but it was dark. I couldn't see who it was.
Can you offer the description that they look like?
And I'll give a vague description that it seemed.
Give me an intelligence roll.
Okay.
Just pure intelligence.
I'm rolling under 60 for this. 78.
Okay. And he takes it like you describe what you think you saw. So that's what's basically happening, and essentially they're writing it down. But you're getting some of the details right, but some of the details wrong.
He's like, okay. And Officer Blanco's like, her name is May Wynn. Miss Wynn. Officer Blanco will take you to a hospital now. Where is it you are staying?
And she will give the Posada Los Arcos.
Yes. See, Officer Blanco will go with you. Make sure that you can get your injuries looked at. He will stay with you to ensure your safety, and he's like saying this, and like Blanco's like nodding, and it's like, and he will ensure that you return home safely. Yes? See?
Thank you. I appreciate it. I wish I remembered more. I saw the body and I ran. And what happened after I ran? What happened?
Well, we cannot explain too much. It's an ongoing situation, but there are multiple casualties inside. I'm afraid to say, but you are safe. Officer Blanco will take you to the hospital. He'll stay with you. Perhaps more will come to you as you calm down, as the panic subsides, and you'll start to think more clearly. And maybe there is a detail you might remember later. Yes?
Oh, I maybe I don't. It was there was just so much blood.
Yes.
On the
See,
floor.
you have
just so much blood on the floor.
See.
So she
Do not worry.
just keeps repeating that, trying to give the impression she's not going to remember much more.
Yeah, and you're kind of playing it up like, and it's like,
okay. Go ahead, Blanco.
And like he escorts you over to one of the cars, puts you in the back, opens a door for you, and he'll drive you, and he takes you to the hospital. We'll cut over to Bev. So a lot of this is okay. We're having this concurrently. Bev, the last we saw of you, you were wandering the streets. Okay. You had left La Paz, and you started to try to work your way back to the hotel. Give me a luck test, please. Let's see how you do.
61. I met it exactly.
Wow, right on the button. You have no idea how huge that was. So you find yourself moving and weaving through alleys. This isn't the first time that you've had to do this, right? It's a different neighborhood, slightly. Like you're still in Coyoacán, but like you've since moved. A couple times, you get the feeling you're being followed, and you look over your shoulder and you see a shadow behind you, people coming and going. And the minute you like focus on them a bit, you see whoever it was just turns down, and they make it turn down a street or an alley, or you see they go into a building. And you see a car driving past. You look down an alley, kind of quickly duck. You peek around and you see it, and it's a maroon. Actually, no, it's not maroon. It's just a black kind of navy blue kind of color, really dark. And you see it slowly passing, and then right as you're about to step out and cross, you see it begin to reverse, and it kind of stops the far end of an alley from you, a good like 150 feet from you. Like there, it's way down the alley, and it kind of just stops, and you see someone lean up and out of one of the windows, and they're just looking down. But because you kind of pass your luck test, they don't turn down just yet, and they slide back in, and they continue to drive. What do you want to do, Bev?
Oh gosh, this definitely, like, feeling like she's being watched and stuff is starting to amp up her anxiety a bit. So if there's like a jacket or something on like a clothesline out to dry or something like that, she would definitely snag it and try and change her appearance up a little bit. Obviously she can't do a lot, and just try and hurry to the hotel, but maybe taking again more obscure routes to avoid detection from that car.
Give me a luck test to see if you get lucky with the clothesline.
I do not.
Okay. You find one, and right as you reach up to take something from it, you see this like
shawl. You hear a voice. Excuse me. It is not for you. And when you turn around, you can see the voice is coming from an elderly man, very shaggily dressed. He's got this sort of nasty old coat, ragged, over top of him, and he's got these long bony fingers that he kind of keeps to his side. He's got snot on his face. And he's like, "This is not for you. Don't steal."
You're right. Sorry. And she will try and walk away.
As you walk away, like, you hear him call, "Are you really sorry? Or is that another one of your lies?"
Excuse me?
Is that one? I thought it was a simple question. Are you really sorry? Or are you lying? Again?
Oh, we've never met, sir.
Oh. I'm sorry. My mistake. And he starts to turn around and walk the opposite direction.
Okay. And like this creeps Bev out of like, and because she's already on edge from running from the scene, so she's gonna keep heading towards the hotel.
Okay. Give me a navigate. This is just timing. Let's see how you do.
I was really looking forward to rolling navigate because I have a 30, and I was like, I can do this, and that wasn't
You got a
what
free
I
ride
rolled.
to the hospital. You had a much better encounter with the Mexican police than Pastorwood did. Of course, you were much
For
nicer
sure.
to the Mexican police, so that's probably why.
I could not have been more nice.
I believe
physically,
that's
I couldn't.
true.
That was the best
I
I could do.
believe Pastor Wood could not be nicer than that. I agree. Okay. So we will cut then with the 54 over 30.
Yeah.
Don't spend luck on that. It's just a timing thing. Okay. We will cut then back to the Posada Los Orcos, the Inn of the Arches. And the first person we see arriving is actually Pastor Wood with his critical success. You look relatively okay. Like, you changed your clothes, but you still have some stains of blood and stuff in here and there. But you look a little roughed up, but you're not coated in blood. As you walk into the lobby and work your way up to your new room. You do, however, draw a little bit of attention. So you see, like, once or twice, there's like someone passing by in the hall, or you can see someone in the lobby. You can see a handful of folks outside, maybe smoking a cigarette or whatever, and laughing and joking. And there's maybe somebody in the, drinking some coffee inside of a small lounge. They don't have like a big courtyard like your last hotel did. Maybe you pass by the gardens out back, and you can see that there's people joking and laughing at there. Some more, festive decoration. As they have like this very robust garden that people can kind of move around in, sit here and there, and you can hear some voices, and every now and then you hear the voices quiet, and you watch as their heads just kind of follow you for a few steps before they turn back to their conversation. Maybe it's paranoia, maybe it's not. But when you get back to your room, no one's here. No Patrick. Knock on the women's rooms. No answer.
Are all of our rooms locked?
Unless you all tell me otherwise, I'm assuming you lock your rooms. Because if you say otherwise, then I'm going to hold you to that for the rest of the campaign. So I'm assuming you lock your rooms.
They're locked.
Yeah.
Dr. Key's room. Is there like a window in that room with like maybe a balcony?
Roll a luck test.
I'm not very lucky today.
Pastor Wood just has no respect for personal space in this, arc.
85 over 15.
Okay. She has a window, but no balcony.
I'd like to go down to the front desk and talk to the concierge.
Okay.
come down. Do you look exactly the same? You get back up and you come back
No,
down.
I'd go to my room and change.
Okay, you change, and so all of the, like, to your other suit, basically?
You're right, I only brought 2, which is one more than I brought last time. So
I think both
this
of them are
is probably my
covered in
nicer one.
stuff. Yeah, but I think
I'll
both of
stay in
them
my
are
nicer
covered.
one.
Okay, you say you're nicer, because I think you turned your shirt inside out or something. Okay, so you go downstairs, and you find the lobby, and it's like the night shift, sort of. But it's not like, again, it's not like midnight, so there's still some people lingering here and there, people coming and going, like coming back from like a night out in the town, that kind of thing. It's middle of the week, though, so it's not as busy. But you can see there is a woman behind the counter. She is probably in her 40s or so, big friendly face, curly hair, a small, like very almost imperceptible streak of gray right in the front, but it actually looks very distinguished on her. She's got makeup on fairly heavy, and she's got a big, like her dress is like this big, bold, like red that's kind of dotted here and there. It looks very festive. It's a floral pattern of some kind. And good evening. Can I help you?
Pastor Wood is running out of money here. He takes $5 and puts it on the counter. Good evening. You know my companion, the doctor, Dr. Key, and I describe what Beverly looks like.
See, yes, see.
And she's in room whatever number it is. This is her book, and I put this book on the counter. And
good.
I know. She asked me to put this in her room. I cannot have this book in my room overnight. Would I be able to grab her key just for a minute so I can put this book in her room?
I know she is your friend, but it is our policy not to give out keys to other people's rooms without prior permission. I can
Would
hold
you rather
the book.
keep this book behind the counter? It smells awful. The longer it stays here.
I could hold the book for you and give it to Dr. Key when she returns. If
Are you sure I couldn't just put it in her room? She gave me permission.
That is. Oh goodness.
Roll. What do you want to roll here?
I'd like to persuade if I can.
It sounds
I
a
know it's
little
a little bit
fast
fast
talky to me. It's a little fast talky to me. I'll tell you this: you could roll persuade, but you need a hard success, or you need to roll fast talk.
Yeah, I'll take the
We
hard
have a
success on
generous
persuade. if that's okay.
audience.
Okay,
We have
that
a
works for me.
generous audience.
No, I really shouldn't pass this, to be fair.
Just take 10%.
48 under 65. I think
Nice.
that's too much luck for me to actually turn it into a hard success.
Mhm.
I would need a 32. That would be 16 luck. I've only got 15. So I literally cannot pass this.
If only you'd taken a boost.
I'm sorry. That it is against our policy. I could go with you. I could open the door. We could put it down on a counter. Would that be sufficient?
I understand. I don't want you to. If it would get you in trouble, then no, I don't want to push it.
No, it is fine. It is what we can put it on the counter and with a note.
Sure, that's fine. I would appreciate that.
Okay. Yes.
And right as she comes around, she puts a little sign, like "Be right back" or something like that. She comes around. You hear the clink of keys. You're right in the lobby. That's when Shima and Patrick walk in. Patrick, Shima, you see there's Pastor Wood with this ratty, nasty book that is dripping onto the ground. And you can see that there's a woman. You've probably seen her in passing once or twice. Actually, no, you haven't really been here that long, so maybe you haven't seen her. But you see there's Pastor Wood. What do you do when you come in?
Would I see them as well?
Yeah.
I would immediately turn to the concierge and say, "Oh, look, this is the doctor's assistant. I can give her the book instead. I appreciate it. No need."
Oh, she turns around. Are you sure? It is no trouble.
No trouble at all. I appreciate that. Miss Oberon, would you mind taking this book?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, Miss Oberon, you do not look well.
No, I don't feel well.
What happened?
Dios mío, what happened to you? She says. I love that phrase.
I got into a fight.
Someone's still punching her. It's fine. We're going to get cleaned up.
Yeah, let's take this conversation to our rooms. Ma'am, I appreciate your help.
Do you need I can call a doctor? Do you want a doctor? You look terrible.
It's just wine. It's fine.
Wine?
We were just at La Paz.
Roll a fast talk.
Oh no!
Patrick.
You had to mention the place.
Not helping.
I love it.
Very
Long is such an agent of chaos. It's so good. I love it. Thank you, Long.
My fast talk? Oh, God.
Yeah, that's what bullshitting is.
That's what
which is what you're doing. Yeah, give it a roll, buddy.
100!
I got so excited when I saw
I know, I got
zero
excited
pop up
too.
for you, but then the second one comes in as well. Okay.
Oh, God.
She looks at you and like,
That is not wine. And then she steps forward. We do not want any trouble here. We are a family-run business. If you all are in some sort of trouble, I would ask you to go somewhere else. This one
turns towards Pastor Wood.
asking me to let him into another one's room. You, covered in blood, points at Shima, and this one saying it is wine? How dare you? I know the difference between wine and bloodstains. It is blood. Why are you covered in blood?
Shima had said before that she got into a fight, more or less the same time that Patrick had said someone spilled ketchup. So I'm gonna go back to, like, I didn't mean to get into a fight. I was just seeing some friends at La Paz, and then someone attacked me, and that's what happened. And now I'm covered in blood.
It is okay. It is okay. It is okay, my dear. Go up to your room. I shall get this doctor. I shall call the police. You can tell them what happened. Everything will be fine. Okay?
Oh,
Was this man telling you to lie? She points over towards Patrick.
no, they're my friends. We're trying to help.
She comes up to Patrick and she's like, friends do not tell other friends to lie. Why are you taking your friend to places where she gets stabbed and beaten? What is wrong with you? You are a shameful man. Shameful. She's just sort of like right in your face, like just sort of browbeating you a bit. She's not hurting you or anything, but she's yelling at you something fierce. You're supposed to protect her. Look at her. She is a sweet, innocent young woman. What's wrong with you? Both of you. This one here trying to break into another's room. This one here. Huh. Oh, away from me.
She just kind of like dismisses you.
Break in. Well, that is stress. Patrick, Miss Oberon, is Elena okay?
Yeah, she's fine. We're gonna get cleaned up. I'll tell you all about it.
Shamefacedly and like avoiding eye contact when super ashamed of all of this, is just silently going to march to their room and let them, and trying to put some distance between her and the two of them.
Okay.
This was the exact opposite of what Shima likes to do, which is to be unnoticed.
Gotcha. Okay. So the three of you go upstairs?
Yeah.
A few minutes later.
Shima goes to her room and like slams the door like a child. Like she slams the door like super angry.
A few minutes later, back in the lobby, we see Bev walk in. I think Pastor Wood, Patrick, you've all left. Bev, roll a listen test as you come in.
Okay.
Just a listen test. Extremely important. The most important listen test of your
Oh
life.
gosh. Oh dear. No pressure.
5.
No pressure.
45%? Okay. All right. You look over and you can see the woman behind the counter is on the phone. And she's like talking like rapidly in Spanish on the phone, etc. And then she looks up at you and Bev, I actually think you probably wouldn't have a ton of blood on you because I think you escaped pretty quick.
yeah.
You have your own injuries, but they have been patched up at this point.
Yeah.
So she'll like, no moment. And she's gonna, good evening, ma'am. Are you okay? Is there anything you need this evening? It's been a very strange evening.
I'm fine. I'm just ready to go to bed.
I see. Well, if there's anything we can do, please let me know.
Of course. Thank you for wonderful customer service.
And she's like, okay, I need to get back to this. Oh, as I said, very strange night.
And then kind of goes back into Spanish, and you hear her just sort of talking as you wander away.
Yeah, Bev's Spanish is a 2, so I don't.
You can rip it. Maybe get lucky. You never know.
Let's see.
Take a boost, make it a 12. Just
well, I don't.
We've
I
got
want to
one and
increase
100
it.
tonight.
Let's see. I'm just gonna rip it. 96.
Oh no!
96, a crit fail.
Yeah.
Dude, we cannot roll for shit today. Like,
I mean, to be fair, my goal was a 2. So
Yeah. You hear you don't have to rip it. I just say you could rip it. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah, I want to see if I can increase my Spanish. Like
you did not, because you basically are interpreting that she seems to be trying to like order something. You think she's something about trying to get she's trying to get dogs delivered here tonight. It's very important.
Tonight is weird, and Beverly just kind of agrees with that and heads up to her room.
Okay, so you head up to your room. I can't remember. Did we do solo rooms, or did you guys?
Yeah,
pair
That's
up?
what we did at the old hotel, so I'd assume we would do it here.
That's fine with me if you can afford it. Okay, all right.
Okay, so Patrick and I are sharing a room.
Okay,
Yeah.
boys are together. All right. So all of you, with the exception of Marie, are back, and you guys can hear your doors opening and closing. You get a sense, like I'll say, Shima, maybe you're next to Bev. You hear Bev's door open and close. Pastor Wood, maybe on the other side. You hear Bev's room open and close. What the four are you doing? No Marie, though, yet.
Lena's fine. Javier, Hernando, not so much. I'm cleaning up as we're speaking.
I knew that they were no good. That was Dr. Key. Perhaps we should go look for her, see if she's okay. And I go and I knock on Bev's room.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. She opens the door.
Yes, I've heard about what happened. Are you okay?
Yeah. And she seems a little like scattered because I'm kind of playing up that her head still is pretty painful at this point, and she just, I need a rest. And then I was planning on beginning to read.
Well, if you want something to read, I've got the mother of all books for you to read.
I'm not now. And then as she sits down, it's like she immediately stands back up, Shima, and then she pushes past you and she goes over to Shima's room and kind of knocks briskly on there.
She's okay. She got beat up a bit, but she's okay.
Shima opens the door, and that trademark pleasant smile is not there.
Doesn't bother Beverly. She just kind of starts to manhandle you as she checks you physically. If you will allow her.
Please don't. It's fine. It's fine. And she, there's a book on the table that Pastor Ward got for you.
Doctor, I'll go ahead and put it in your room for you so you can read it at your leisure.
No, I'll read it later. Shima's could also read it. We're both intelligent.
Well, I know you'll read it later. I'm saying I'll put it in your room. It smells a little funky.
It's fine where it's at. And what happened?
Shima's at the sink, like scrubbing her shirt, and yeah.
Dr. Key, Bev isn't with you.
You mean
Or sorry,
May?
Marie.
Yeah. Patrick banged his head too.
Has anyone heard from her?
No.
Might be dead in an alley. No one saw her.
I guess, should we go looking?
Not a bad
Tonight's
idea.
bizarre.
Maybe one of us should stay at the hotel just in case.
Okay.
At this point, Shima turns around and comes out, kind of holding her shirt, and she's like, "I'm gonna get into so much trouble for this hole."
We can fix it, Shima.
No, there's no way to fix it without the stitching showing. And the police are gonna be here soon, and
But the police are coming.
and she looks over at Patrick Braze and Password like,
Patrick made a
go wait
scene.
in the lobby? Is that what you do? Will they come to the room?
I don't know. The lady was trying to order dogs.
Miss Oberon, don't worry too much about the police. I already spoke with them tonight. Just give them a few details, but not everything. They'll go away.
Here, come with me. I'll get you a blouse for now. Okay?
She's cleaned up. She has like 5 shirts, 2 of which are one of which is torn with the night wound, and one of which is bloody from this morning.
Okay.
She's in one of her. She's cleaned up.
If they're coming to speak with you, maybe wait down in the lobby. And she looks at the guys.
She doesn't wait to be told twice. She
okay to go look for Marie?
Yeah, we'll go find her.
Well, like I said, I have spoke to the police tonight already, and they kind of told me that I'm a person of interest. I probably shouldn't be on the streets if they're looking for
You're a person
individuals
of interest
tied to
for
this.
What?
It's outrageous accusations, of course, but they didn't believe me that I was attacked by birds, and they're trying to pin all sorts of things on me. They've got nothing.
And at this point, like Bev kind of pinches the bridge of her nose. Okay, Patrick, you head on out. I'll meet you outside. I need to grab a few things, and then I'll be down.
I'll be waiting.
Shima, wait in the
Shima's
lobby.
already left. Like the second you
Okay.
said like you should go wait in the lobby, like she doesn't really want to be around anyone, and she left.
Pastor, obviously, keep an eye. If they do take Shima in for questioning, make sure to let us know. Find out where they're going.
Of course. I'll keep an eye on her. About this book, Doctor. Are you sure you don't want it in your room?
I don't need it in my room right now. It's fine. It's a fucking book. And she's kind of getting sassy because her head hurts. And she goes into her room, snaps it shut behind her as she goes through, and she gets some like warmer clothing to put on.
Well, I apologize. I didn't mean to cause offense. I'll just keep it in my room.
Okay. You say to her door because she had already got inside. Pretty close by.
I do.
We'll fast forward.
100%.
We'll fast forward a little bit, and we've got Shima in the lobby. Got Bev and Patrick outside. We've got Marie at the hospital, and Pastor. Where exactly are you?
I don't want to be in the lobby when the police arrive.
Gotcha.
Would there be anywhere that would be like a place that I could sit and like watch who goes in and out of the hotel? Like a cafe on the other side of the street, maybe, or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. Probably give me a spot hidden, maybe just to kind of get an angle.
Is
Look for a good
quite
angle.
late at this point?
So I'll figure you guys, everything kind of went down around 8 or so, 9, something like that. It's probably been an hour and a half since then. So we're looking at maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Okay. For some reason in my head it was past midnight.
No, not quite yet. How'd you do, Pastor Wood?
I rolled a 94 over 89, so I will spend a third of my luck to turn it into a success.
Okay. You notice that there is a fire escape on a nearby building. That if you just kind of climb up a couple of these grates, you can kind of pull down a ladder and you climb up to around the second floor or so. It looks like there's no lights on in this building on this side of the building, so you just kind of perch up within the fire escape, and you're looking down, and you can see the entrance to your hotel, and you can see people coming and going. You even see Bev and Patrick depart at that point. Okay. Bev and Patrick, are you just kind of wandering the streets, or do you have a plan in mind?
Just nearby, maybe she's made it out a little bit later. And if we don't find her, peruse back to the bar.
Okay.
See if she's lingering.
Yeah.
Do you stick together?
Yeah, Beverly wouldn't separate. Especially because she would tell him like about the weird interaction that she had on her way back. About the guy saying that she's lied before.
It's probably just drunk. Don't worry about him.
It felt weird, you know?
Yeah, a lot of things are weird here.
I hope we find Marie soon.
Did you see her at all? She's the first out.
No, my back was to the door. I heard her yell, and then when I turned to look back, I couldn't see her in the crowd.
Don't worry, we'll find her.
So let's cut to Marie, who is at the hospital in a room. We've gone through the emergency room process, all the stuff that we saw Pastor would have to go through, but yours much smoother, much nicer. Officer Blanco has been with you the whole time. He waits outside the room that you're in, like the little cordoned off area. He waits outside while the doctor comes in, kind of stitches you up. You kind of have to take like your blouse off and everything. He's being respectful, and like you're stitching up like your previous injury, you're stitching up your new injury on the back, all these types of things. And during this process, first of all, you're going to, let's see if they make their roll. They do. So you get a 1 HP back. We'll treat this as medical care, emergency medical care. You can get 1 HP back from the slash across your back. Okay. And you do, however, face some questioning from the, we'll say, the doctor who's stitching you up. And she says to you, this other one here seems as though this is not recent. This was yesterday, 2 days ago, perhaps. This was not tonight. And she's pointing to where you got shot a couple times, I think. Didn't you get shot twice? And so she's looking at you.
Yes, I did.
And both of those have suffered the stitches and stuff that the doctor, the house doctor, had provided, have ripped. She fixes them, but she says, "Madam, are you in some trouble? You can tell me."
I'm just, you know how some people seem to have good luck and they get all the breaks and they're always in the right place at the right time and things just always come up roses and sunshine for them. I'm not one of those people. I just have a dark cloud that follows me, and I always seem to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I am sorry to hear that, but there is a big difference between bad luck and getting shot twice. Most people do not get shot. Even unlucky people do not get shot. You have two admittedly well cared for bullet injuries, in addition to a knife slash on your back. It is possible, perhaps, that it is not a dark cloud, but perhaps you are putting yourself into some perilous situations.
So it's my fault.
No,
Hurt is my fault?
I do not know. You have 2 bullet wounds. This is very suspicious, don't you think?
I mean, I didn't do it myself. I didn't shoot myself.
Who did shoot you?
I don't know.
You were shot by a random individual. Twice.
I don't know who he was. It was like one of those long guns that shoot from
A rifle?
far away. It wasn't up close, so I didn't see them.
Where did this happen?
I was walking. It was a neighborhood. I'm not from here. I don't know. I got myself turned around.
You got shot by a rifle from a distance inside of a neighborhood, like with bungalows and homes.
Which is why I don't see that it was my fault. I wasn't somewhere where I thought dangerous things were happening.
Was it a stray bullet, or did you go onto someone's property that saw you, or?
I lost consciousness. I went out.
To be honest, I am surprised that you are alive, considering where these wounds are. You must have a guardian angel if you passed out, you say? After getting shot twice in a neighborhood. Someone must have done a very, very charitable thing.
Yes, I do. You are right. That silver lining of the dark cloud. You're right.
Did you report the shooting to the police?
I didn't know what to say. I didn't see.
You say
anything.
Everything you just said to me. You say you were in the neighborhood when you were shot. And you say which neighborhood, and you say which street. Perhaps even an address. And indeed,
I got lost. I don't know. And then I
see, but you describe what you see.
Somewhere else.
You woke up somewhere else. Where did you wake up?
I woke up back where I had been staying.
Like a hotel?
I think I had a hotel key on me, and I think whoever found me just brought me there. So I don't know where I came
to your hotel and not to a hospital. They find a woman bleeding on the ground with 2 gunshots, and they take you to a hospital. That is what a good person does. But you were taken to a hotel, and you thought at no point you should.
I don't know what to tell you. And she sort of kind of goes waterworks at this point. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't see them. I got lost. I don't know.
Give me a charm test, because you're not lying, because you're actually not lying. You technically didn't see. The one thing that's kind of a lie is that you don't know where you were. You know it's Victor Cortez's house.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that's kind of, yeah. So, but you are trying to like lay the waterworks on, like
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I'm rolling under 80 for my charm.
I like that, Steven.
Awesome.
I was shot, but didn't know who did it, so I just figured it was one of those things, like,
Just one of those days.
it's that black cloud. Oh, jeez.
Son of a bitch.
Yesterday I stubbed my toe. Today I got shot by a high-powered rifle. It's just how these things go.
Just had a bad run of luck lately.
Ridiculous. How'd you do?
I rolled 2 lollies.
That's a crit fail.
Oh,
I
Why
know.
are we crit failing so much?
what are these rules today?
Now I'm really gonna cry, like in real life.
Actually,
She says, I know you are very upset, and I am sorry to upset you, but your story sounds very odd. You are a woman in this country. You are wandering about the streets in the neighborhood that you do not remember, and you got shot twice, dropped off at the hotel that you're staying at, and at no point did you contact the police. I do not mean to upset you, but that is very abnormal, and it is very dangerous. If things happen as you said they did, then you have a duty to report it. There could be a masked, crazy person out there shooting people left and right. We have a right to know that. And we have had multiple people come in here with gunshots. I have heard stories. Just tonight, you were in La Paz, and that there was a fight. Okay, but you called the police. Now, please, put your clothes back on, and you're going to tell Officer Blanco everything that you told me. And you will tell him more than what you told me. Because I do not believe you. I think you know where you were.
I don't know more. I don't
know believe more. You. Do you know how long I've been doing this job? I've been here for 20 years, since it opened. And I've heard many people come in here and tell me stories. Some people cry, some people get angry. We had a very cantankerous old man here earlier this evening. Oh, we all wanted him gone as fast as possible. So we worked, but then the police came. And then he was cantankerous to the police. We thought maybe the police will arrest him, but they did not. So I've seen things. Whether you are cranky or whether you are kind, I can tell when someone is lying to me. And you, madame, you are lying. You do not know why.
I didn't see him, and I didn't see the one that stabbed me.
Please put your blouse back on, and we will speak with Officer Blanco. You will tell him everything that you have told me, and then he will make a decision on what to do.
Thank you.
She waits, and she's just arms crossed, like waiting. And eventually, Blanco comes back in, and she's like, you can hear the two of them like rapid fire conversation. He comes back in after you're all dressed. Miss Wynn, the doctor tells me that you have been not being particularly forthright in your stories, that you have suspicious injuries that were not caused by Laaz. That in fact you have gunshot wounds, fresh. I must ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with me. Because I believe you are probably a good person. Maybe you are caught up in something bad. But you have 2 gunshot wounds. Recent. And then violence has erupted at Laaz. I'm not saying that we have never been called to Laaz before. But not because there are 3 dead bodies on the ground. We come there because someone is too drunk. Someone is in a fist fight. Every now and then, someone gets cut. But we have never been called because there are 3 dead bodies on the floor. So you are a woman who claims to have a black cloud over her. You are a woman who claims to be wandering through a suburb, a neighborhood, and you get shot. And then you happen to be at a bar where terrible violence is broken out that has not yet been explained by anyone. I think perhaps you might know more about why that violence broke out. I think perhaps you are not telling us everything. I want to help you, but I cannot help you unless you are honest with me. What do you know about what happened at Laaz tonight?
I didn't see the face of the person that stabbed me. I didn't. It was dark in the restroom and I didn't see their face.
I see.
But they had already murdered one person.
They murdered, according to what I understand, Javier Luna, a very well-liked and well-known singer, musician. And he is dead on the floor. Can you tell me anything about this?
That's what I saw when I walked into the restroom. There was so much blood.
Yes.
So much blood on the floor.
Very much blood, yes. But what do you know about why that happened?
All I know is that it happened because someone cut his throat open.
I am sorry, madame. I'm going to have to take you in. And I will not cuff you, out of respect. But I'm going to bring you on perhaps a night in a cell where we'll rattle free some additional memories. And perhaps it would encourage you to be more truthful. I have been nothing but kind to you tonight. It is quite clear you are lying to both myself and to the doctor. And if you are lying because you are in trouble, well then we can help you. But if you are lying because you have helped cause trouble, well, we'll have to find out then. Now, The doctor says you are free to go. We will go, and Detective Gomez will decide what to do with you. Come on. And he offers his hand again.
Didn't have anything. I didn't stab anybody. I didn't shoot anybody.
Yes, I understand. But you clearly know something, and you are clearly withholding it. There
And
are
she doesn't
dangerous
say
people.
anything further.
There are 3 dead people in La Paz. We do not know who those people are just yet, other than Javier Luna. We do not know who killed them. We do not know why they got killed. Perhaps where you come from, when people die inside of a cantina, it is just normal business. But that is not how we feel in Coyoacan. You withholding information from us is perhaps letting a killer walk free on these streets. So, you will come with me now. And he kind of, this time a little bit, not like roughly, but a little bit more firmly grabs you by the arm, leads you to a car, and takes you, and you basically are going to spend the night in jail.
Oh, crap. Crit fails. Crit fails.
We cut
Melissa,
back.
your expressions and role playing were on point, though. You did so good.
So good.
Not good enough. Okay, we cut back.
Can't overcome the dice.
Yeah. We cut back to the hotel where Shima and Pastor Wood from the outside, Shima from the inside, see cop cars pull up. And you see there's 2 men getting out of the cop. Both, they don't look like anyone you would recognize from a distance, Pastor Wood. They just look like they're, plain clothes. Or not plain clothes, excuse me. They're uniformed. And they're going into the hotel. Is there anything you want to do before I cut to Shima? So, Pastor Wood, now that you said have, is there anything that you do?
If I don't see Gomez, I still want. They would still know to look out for me. I feel like I don't know. I'll stay on the fire escape. Would it be too much to say that I have the book with me as well? That I'd been reading it.
No, I'm fine with it.
Okay, but we'll do that later.
Do you have like a lighter or something
dark?
on you? It's pretty dark. If you have a lighter, if you have like a Zippo,
I wouldn't want to because that would draw attention to me. I'll just
Okay.
say I'm holding it, just instead of leaving it.
Okay. Give me a listen test.
All right. I'll take 2 audience boosts here because I want to hear what's going on. And I'm not going to. With the audience boost, I needed a 70. I rolled a 93. A lot of 90s coming up tonight.
Okay, not a crit fail. Okay. You're sitting there, you're watching, you're gripping the book, and you hear like something above you. There's like a 4-story building, and you're on the 2nd floor. You hear what sounds like the flapping of wings or some sort of caw is happening. You quickly look up, and you don't see anything, but you hear it. And you watch as like this, just a handful of birds just leap up off of like the 4th most floor of this fire escape and fly away. Yeah, go ahead. You want to do Pastor Wood?
I would get my gun ready after hearing that. I wouldn't be pointing it, but I'd have it on my lap where it'd be at easy access.
Got your gun. You look up, you point, but you watch as they fly up and away, and they don't swarm onto you. Inside the lobby, Shima, the woman the hotel manager, she leads the cops over to you, and she introduces. She says, "This is one of the women," and she's on your side. She's her friend was got her into trouble. She really kind of plays you up as victim. You can tell there's definitely some gender warfare stuff kind of going on from her perspective,
It's probably helped by Shama looking incredibly oh my goodness, yeah, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me ever. And she's fidgeting, and it generally, without meaning to, is probably playing the part.
So the woman steps away, once the officers kind of dismiss her, thank you. And then you do some basic introductions. And so, this is Officer Rodrigo, and he's kind of doing the talking. He seems to be the one who can speak English. And so he does. And he's just and your name is Shima.
Could you? What is your
Shima Oberon?
Oberon? And they're like taking notes. And like, and you are visiting Mexico City for what reason?
From Arkham, Massachusetts.
Yes.
I'm a student at the university there, sir.
Oh, are you studying here?
No, sir. I'm just doing some field work for my department.
Oh, I see. Oh, very good. What is your field of study? They're being very friendly.
Library studies, sir.
Library studies. Oh, I see. You collect books and things.
Yes, sir. It's really about helping people do research. So
I see. And because you are of an age, you were probably excited to come to some of the bars, the cantinas, the clubs. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I was just meeting a friend of a friend.
I see. Could we get the names, please, of those friends? This is just routine. You are not in trouble.
Oh, okay. It was Elena. I'm sorry. I forget the last name, but her boyfriend was Hernando, and his friend was Javier. And someone, and so I was going to meet Elena, and her boyfriend and her boyfriend's friend.
I see. You are meeting Elena, but you don't remember your friend's last name. And then you are meeting Hernando and Javier. Okay, do you have any last names for us? There are many Hernandos and Javiers and Elenas, as you might imagine.
Javier Luna?
Javier Luna?
He's
musician.
In a band?
Yeah, he was. I am sorry to say, he is deceased. Were you friends?
And she probably looks like she's remembering that now. And she's really bad at hiding expressions. So I don't know how the cops react to it, but she's like, right.
We'll figure it out in a second.
Yes.
Figure let's roleplay for a bit and we'll roll and see what happens.
So could you, in your own words, to the best of your ability, describe the events that transpired tonight? The violence at the bus?
Yes, sir. And she kind of rubs her neck uncomfortably. I might be responsible for some of it because we were just sitting at the table and we were having drinks, and then someone attacked Javier and someone else from the other side attacked Hernando, and I tried to get involved because at Masonic, apart from being a library studies major, I'm also on a wrestling scholarship, so I know how to fight, and so I tried to get involved, and then it got pretty bad.
You can see they're like, oh God, crying woman. Oh God, what do I do? They're like, oh, okay, just wrestling school. Do you say you try to defend Hernando?
I did, and I think I must have done it because they stopped attacking them in a few seconds.
Did you, Miss Oberon, do you think you killed these men?
No, how could I? No, it was just barehanded. How could I have killed anybody?
Could you demonstrate for me on my partner here? This is Officer Sanchez. Could you show the maneuver that you were doing, perhaps?
I did things that you're not really supposed to do in wrestling.
I see. Could you just demonstrate for me? Don't worry. Officer Sanchez is a very big boy. He can handle it.
Punch him in the throat.
He just dies right there. Crushes.
Are you sure, sir?
Yes, it is fine. It is fine. Yes. Sanchez? Oh, he's like, oh, yes.
And super lightly, she punches in the windpipe.
And
Probably makes contact, but no force behind it.
And the two of them exchange a look. They say something in Spanish to one another.
Like, okay, yes, I see, yes. I can see why that would not be allowed in wrestling. Yes, that seems very... that could hurt someone very severely.
With knives.
Of course.
They were coming at us with knives, and they cut Hernando from here to here, and they cut me on here, and
Did you not go to the hospital? Oh dear, you need to stitch that.
That's what my friends brought me here. And she looks over to the hotel manager. It's like, my friend told me I should come.
And she comes over and she's like, he was a terrible man. He just came in here and he was lying left and right. And it was the old man too. And they're like, old man? What do you mean, old man? And then she like explains and describes Pastor Wood, and they're like writing everything down. Like, interesting. Well, so, Miss Oberon, how long are you planning to stay here in Mexico City?
I don't know, a few more days.
Okay, so...
I was going to go see a Lucha Libre fight on Saturday, and so
They are very fun. Yes. But it seems as though the Lucha Libre fight was brought to you.
Doesn't quite understand the joke that she makes, so she doesn't laugh when my dad is laughing.
He gets ridiculously offended and he puts you in cuffs.
Now,
She just kind of looks like something confused
We
at
have-
him.
we have eyewitnesses, several, in fact, fleeing the scene. And they described a woman who looked like you, and a man, and he describes Patrick as you said, trying to protect Hernando. This was this is in line with what we have gotten from other eyewitnesses now. It sounds as though you are a hero in this situation, that you saved a man's life. Well, and then like you can see Sanchez like whisper something. Well, we don't know for sure if Hernando has made it yet. We have not heard yet from the hospital. However,
Is that the hospital though?
yes, he is.
Oh,
Some of his friends.
he looks incredibly relieved.
Now, nonetheless, there are 3 dead men, and it is possible you might have been responsible. At least for one,
For
if not 2.
the dead men?
Yes. It is okay. You were acting in defense of a
I
friend.
didn't kill anyone.
Oh, of course.
And she starts bawling.
Okay, so at this point, I want you to give me a roll. And you tell me what you think you've been doing.
Oh, she is super not lying. So
Okay.
I will happily roll like a charm or
Charm or
something.
persuade, I think, is totally fine. I think because you haven't really lied. I don't think you haven't told any complete and utter lies. So fast talk wouldn't
so
apply.
Charm
You're certainly not trying to intimidate them.
or
You take their gun.
persuade. What do you feel better about, Jeff?
It's up to you because, like, I feel like you've been doing a lot of crying, putting on the waterworks. I'm not sure if you're doing it intentionally, the way Marie kind of was, or if you're doing it.
No,
like,
it's super unintentional. Like it's completely guileless and totally earnest.
Then it's totally up to you. It's like, yeah, I think persuade is fine then if that's the case, because you're genuinely just trying to tell them what happened. And
Can I have 2 audience boost mouth to make it 50?
Got it.
Thank you.
oh dear,
68, but
18,
18.
11. It'd be
11.
57.
Excuse me. Yep.
Yeah,
11
if I'll spend the 11 luck.
Okay.
So, they say to you, Miss Oberon, we're not going to take you in currently, but you cannot leave the city. You are remained here. If you were to change your accommodations, you must notify us. Our superior, Detective Gomez, will likely want to speak with you at some point tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Well, you seem to have had a very difficult night, so we will not take up any more of your time again. And they're both like, kind of look at each other and like, you did the right thing. It is okay. And they kind of like gently kind of pat you on the shoulder.
Thank you.
and then they leave. Okay. Outside,
Bev, Patrick Price, you've been wandering around. You've been looking for Marie. No signs of her. I will say this, both of you roll a luck test. If you maybe just get lucky, you might overhear something here or there.
No, I failed.
All right. Okay.
I passed 45.
Okay.
Yay!
You guys are wandering back. You kind of start circling a little bit back towards Laaz. You maybe ask a little group or two here or there. Like, there are people on the streets talking about this. Like there was 3 people just died at a well-known local neighborhood cantina, right? And so it's like it's already starting to scatter. Like, you can see. And so at some point, Beth, you overhear a story about some white woman from, who knows where, but getting loaded up into a cop car and drove away. And so, like, you just kind of overhear it. Like, you're not necessarily engaging in the conversation, but just people talking about it, like that kind of thing.
So at that point when she hears it, because I imagine Bev's kind of smoking as she's walking along, and like maybe at this point Patrick and I had separated, and so she'll kind of, like, we're both walking separate sides
opposite side of the streets. Okay, I was gonna say otherwise.
And then so Beverly will, like, cross back over to meet up with him and be like, someone was talking about a white woman being loaded up into a police car. It's likely that it was Marie.
Sounds good. She must be fine then.
Well, now we need to figure out.
Sounds good.
Well, she's alive at least.
Yeah, how are we going to get her out of prison?
Wait, prison? She's in jail?
She got loaded up into a police car.
Why would they arrest her? She's a victim here.
All we know is that she got loaded up into a police car.
Then they'll take care of her. We should rest up.
Patrick's
She's
very
injured.
logical.
Yeah, all that makes sense. Except for this little thing called obstruction of justice.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah, and I mean, so having at least that knowledge that she's not dead in a ditch somewhere, or like kicked into a canal, like, Beverly is tired, so she is like, well, if she's in jail, at least we can go try and find her tomorrow. Hopefully Shima is also not in jail. And let's go find out.
You think anyone could put her in jail? Look at her.
She's so sweet. She'd let them.
Okay. So we'll say the two of you return just as the police car is leaving. Doesn't see you. Just as the police car is leaving. Pastor, what do you see? The cop leaves. You see Beverly and Patrick walk up, go into the hotel. You didn't see them bring Shima out. So they didn't have Shima in cuffs. They didn't put Shima in the car. So, like, at this point, Pastor Wood, you would know that Bev and Patrick have returned, that Shima is still in the hotel. At no point have you seen Murray come. Okay. So we say we regroup. The four of you regroup. It could be in the lobby, get up by your rooms, I don't care where. But you definitely don't have Marie with you. But you do have a rumor of a white woman being put into a cop car and driven away. So, midnight-ish, we'll say now. What are we doing?
Miss Oberon, how'd that conversation go with the police officers?
So as you woke up, Shim's actually been talking to the hotel manager, like thanking her and apologizing for like causing all the inconvenience and really just like falling all over
better friends.
herself.
You need to find better friends. They do not mean you well, especially that one dresses like he is some sort of model with his beautiful face and chin line. His good looks will only get him so far.
Okay.
And the old man with his little wet book. Do not think I do not know what that book is made of. Oh, I know.
And as if it occurs to Shai for the first time, which it does, like, oh, dude, oh no, that's disgusting.
We have
And
see
this
all
is, I
sorts of
think,
strange
what-
things in the hotel. Find it all sorts of strange stuff.
So she's talking to the hotel manager when Pastor Wood comes in.
Okay. She just looks at you too, Pastor Wood, and eventually Patrick with a sneer. She's like, yeah. She mutters a curse under her breath and just wanders away.
And I gave her such a nice tip.
You tried to give her a soggy book that had a bunch
I gave her
of stuff about...
$5.
The book literally caused you sanity loss. Horrific
I wasn't gonna let her
things you
look
just
at
tried to show her.
I think
God,
we're resting
you're
up for the
such a-
night and
Okay.
hoping Marie gets out by morning. And then looking
Okay.
into the secret studio. The whole reason this plot broke out.
To answer Pastor Wood's question, though, I think she says that I think it went okay. They said to stick around and to investigate because they might have more questions, and that their boss, Detective Gomez, might be reaching out to me.
Gomez, that's the one I met tonight as well.
Oh. But they seem very nice.
You didn't tell him anything, did you?
And
Well, like
just
about
what
why we're
happened-
here.
Just what happened tonight.
But you didn't tell him why we're here. And I assume that we're saying this as we're
Well,
like
I don't
moving away
think
from people too.
That didn't come up. I don't think.
Okay.
Sure, I have
Well, that's
told
good.
them. I don't.
No, you absolutely should not have told them. No, I'm not saying you should lie. You should never lie. Some things to keep to yourself.
I know it looks it's like not. Okay, well, please don't make me talk to the cops again.
Well, I never made you talk in the first place. It was that one opening his mouth that got
And
us.
she's addressing this to all of you, to be clear.
Yeah, Beverly just kind of like shrugs, like we gotta do better to avoid them. Have you had any attention for your wound? Because if you hadn't, Bev would motion for you to come to her room.
I've still.
Let me do what I can for it, and we'll see if you need to go to the hospital.
You can flavor do it, but mechanically we've already done the first aid roll that you would have gotten.
Yeah.
on the PD. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like flavor, we can say that for sure. The one thing I'll say to you all before we kind of fast forward is that as you go back to your rooms, you see either sitting on a bed or maybe tucked underneath the bed or maybe on a chair, you have two large fabric pillowcases filled with stuff that you actually looted from Jonathan Brooks's penthouse that you've never gone through. So those things are there. So maybe we see as like Bev and Chima go to
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. What kind of penalties do you have for staying up all night?
It's a good question. I don't know if there's like up night rules like that, like the way there are with Delta Green, like sleeplessness. I'd have to look into it. I don't know off the top of my head. And as we were talking about before,
would it stop?
I don't seem to know the rules, so it's possible. Yeah.
Do you, in your expert GM opinion, would it stop us from like regaining health if we did so?
I would say what I would probably penalize you all is if you decide to stay up, I would probably give you a penalty die on various things the next day. Anything that a tiredness might, and you know, that's what I would do off the top of my head. And I would have to double check to see if there's something more official.
I think Pastor Wood then would want to stay up all night going through the evidence that we've caught. And, you know, licking his wounds at the same time.
Okay. Is anybody staying up with him and going through this?
She's at a very difficult day.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I
Bev,
think Bev would
Patrick?
want to look at them in the morning, but not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting wrists as well.
All right. Pastor then. So let me give you, as everyone's kind of settling in, if Pastor Wood and Patrick Price are sharing a room, we see like Pastor Wood is in one side, maybe by a chair, he's got a little lamp, whereas Patrick is sleeping on the bed. I'll go through what you've gotten. If there's anything you want to look at right now, we could do it if you wanted to save some for tomorrow. But you have an album liner that had some strange symbols and letters on the back, almost like a code. You have the rolled up charcoal and nectar drawing of what looks like a mountain with a big gash on the side that has like a fanged maw. And there are various symbols and words that have been slathered around it. Some of them individual letters, some of them words, etc. And like what looks like a phrase arcing over top of it. You found some letters, some correspondence, some unfinished or unsent, maybe draft that turned into final drafts at some point. You're not sure. From or to Brooks, you found a photo and of like a group of people that looks to be like they're like almost like wearing expedition gear or something like that. You found a book or two. You found a couple books. Some of them were familiar though. Like you've already found a few copies of these from the UCLA lot. So of those types of things, what would draw your attention the most?
I want to go through the Trammel stuff, but honestly, the Adios talking about Carmela would probably be the priority for me, which would make me want to go through the wet book.
Okay, there's also that. Sure, yeah, we did it too. Okay, so you want to spend the night. So this isn't. So basically, remember our rules for how we're going to kind of handle it.
Brief overview.
So you can skim over it. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to need you to give me a sand test.
But I already gave you one for this book.
This is if you're reading the whole thing and actually.
Yeah, but I'm going to complain about it either way. Damn it. That's a 94 over 55. I'm rolling a lot of 90s tonight.
So hang on one sec. Let me pull it back up. Okay. Oh, buddy. All right. It's going to be 3 points of sanity loss. As this is essentially the effect as it will shake you to a degree. How that plays out, that's for you to figure out. So as I've described, very vile looking imageries, woodcuts, etchings, photographs, handwritten stories. All of them appear to be depicting various depraved acts, torture, mutilation, incest, bestiality, necrophilia, and far, far worse. And you can see that many of these images, many of the stories, talk about mouths that are biting things. You can see them showing up in some of the imagery. You can see them showing up in some of the language. Mouths that are chewing, mouths that are sucking, spitting, bleeding, oozing. It's absolutely horrific. There's probably a reason you don't sleep tonight. And it strikes you as kind of a collection of imagery and handwritten accounts of like the medieval era to present. So you can see it's like a historical accounting of a lot of this. And it seems not to be like a professionally published tome, but rather like this grotesque scrapbook. And it sort of tracks like you think, but are not entirely sure, possibly like different sects, different cults, things like that along the way, and the various practices that they entailed. It is horrifically inventive and very explicit, and it is wet to the touch, and it's fetid, and it's the stench coming from it. You're not sure this is all water. There's pages that ooze, and you can see what looks like pus and bile literally oozing out from between pages, between some of the etchings and the drawings. And we'll say if you spend the night reading through this, one thing that becomes pretty clear to you is that you think that if you spent time poring over this, which would take weeks probably, you think you found something within the book that describes a spell. At least that's what they refer to it as. Some kind of a ritual. Involves binding something. The details aren't particularly clear. You would really need to dig into it. There's some language in here that is probably foreign to you. Some language that's archaic. So it would take some time to kind of update it. You can see words and phrases and spelling. Some illuminated. kind of manuscript kind of styles that have been ripped out and pasted in or pussed in some way. And so that's what you would probably glean from it.
The ritual. That's specifically what Pastor would want to focus on, like his attention when he sees that. Just trying to. I know it's just a brief overview. Never mind. I probably couldn't get much more tonight. But like, what kind of it binds something. Like, I would just want to try and figure out more of what the intent is for that ritual.
You are pretty sure that if you poured over this and studied this at length, the way that Bev or Shima study stuff, you might be able to learn it.
Okay. That's my awful night. I think for the sand loss, especially with the moisture, Zeph would be sitting there and occasionally just hear like the drip from like a leaky pipe or something, and it would just immediately cause him to get up and like go to the sink and make sure that it's off, repeatedly over and over, maybe even waking up Patrick once or twice unintentionally, trying to see if there's like a leak or something in the ceiling, and I just can't get the thought out of my head that there's moisture coming from somewhere.
Okay. So we'll fade out of Pastor Woods reading his strange experiences, the water stains here and there that he's seeing or maybe sort of projecting in various places. We're going to cut over to Marie. Marie, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. You get pulled into a room. You see a man in his early 40s, mustache, plain clothes, and he says, good evening, good morning. I'm very sorry for the late hour, but it's a very serious incident. We met briefly outside of La Paz, and at that time, we took you to be a victim and perhaps a witness. But Officer Blanco says that there have been some additional revelations to suggest that you might be a person of suspicion. And now, I will give you an opportunity to tell me everything. Who are you? Why are you here? Why do you have bullet wounds? And what do you know about the violence that took place? Meaning, why was there such violence? What happened? Now, Officer Blanco is a very perceptive young man, and so I trust him when he says that you are holding things back. I would advise you, Miss Wynne, not to hold things back any further. If you continue to cause trouble, we will have to contact your embassy, and it is a significant process. Now, what can you tell me?
I can't tell you the whys of things. I just know what I saw. I walked into the restroom. There was a dead body on the floor, and someone in the corner with a knife, and they came after me. And I screamed.
Yes.
And I yelled, "He's dead," and ran out.
Madam, you have given us this tale before. You do not have to tell us the same tale again. What we want to know is that what you have withheld from us thus far. You have 2 bullet wounds in you. You were wandering in a neighborhood. Why were you in that neighborhood?
I got...
You see, I know that whatever you're about to say is going to be a lie. Do you want to know why that is? Because you have to stop to think and conjure it in your head. If you were telling the truth, it would not be so difficult to come out. Now, let me ask again. Why were you in that neighborhood?
I still don't know why I was shot or who shot me.
Madam, why were you in the neighborhood where you were shot?
I knew the house that I was going to, but I didn't know that anyone was going to be shooting there.
And what house was that?
It was the house of Victor Cortez.
Victor Cortez. Victor Cortez. Do you know this man?
I'm a singer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here because there's music industry here. But it seems like record where records are made and places are a target. I don't know why they would be a target, but a target.
Miss Wynne, it is not on you to conduct the investigation. It is on myself and my fellow officers to conduct the investigation. You merely need to tell us what you know and tell us what you are doing, and you need to do so honestly. So, you are here, you are visiting Mr. Cortez. What business did you have with him? At his home.
He was... I just met him, but he was very afraid because he said that something very bad had happened to someone that he knew. Their place of business was burned down.
I see. So, you decided to venture out to the personal home of a man you had just met? Did you have a personal relationship with Mr. Cortez?
No, but he was very, very frightened.
I see.
So he went to and she'll name the he went to a hotel. He gave me his keys and I sent the keys back to that hotel, and it was his house where I was shot.
You notice that he's like scribbling, and you could tell like his face is kind of very interested in this.
Well, you were shot at the home of Victor Cortez, and you were shot by someone who you cannot identify, and you can say that Victor Cortez was scared, was afraid of something. I see. Now the picture starts to take some shape. Now, Miss Wynne, why were you at Le Pos? Please, if you would, spare me and treat me with some respect, and know that just getting a drink and having a little fun is most likely not going to pass muster at this point. Why were you at Le Pos tonight?
We had been talking to Javier.
Yes, the dead man.
He's successful in music here.
Yes, he is. Or he was very successful. And he is dead now. Lying, or at least he was lying, with his throat slashed inside the restroom of Le Pos.
It was horrific. Just the...
Yes.
Oh, there was so much blood.
I am sure it was. And you are the one who discovered the body.
And I
Miss Wynne,
there
we
was
have
someone
eyewitness
in the
reports
bathroom, and I
that you
ran out.
were speaking with Mr. Luna and others prior to him being murdered. Could you tell us about
He
what
got
the
up and went
topics?
to the bathroom.
Oh, yes, we know. And we have eyewitnesses to suggest that you followed him there eventually.
He'd been gone for a while, and his friend was worried.
I see. Miss Wynn, why were you meeting with Mr. Luna and Mr. Campos?
I'm a musician. He is successful, and I wasn't getting anywhere with the record was burned down. And Victor wasn't keeping his office open because he was afraid because of the fire. But we knew a woman who is cousin of the wife, one of my companions.
Madam, what was the subject of your conversation?
We were talking about music.
What about music? This would go much more quickly if you would tell me things rather than having to constantly prompt you. You know what this is I am looking for. I'm looking for the specificity of the conversation. I have reports that Mr. Luna stood up and left with some attitude. That you ventured after him. And then he winds up dead. So, what is it that you were discussing with Mr. Luna and Mr. Campos?
It seemed like they were also fearful about whatever was going on here, and we were talking about maybe being able to help get them to the United States, but it didn't seem like they were in agreement about whether to leave or not, and we were trying to offer maybe some help. I'm a singer from the United States. Maybe we could help, but it didn't seem like they were all in agreement about whether they should leave or whether they should stay.
I see. Why was it that they were frightened? Or who were they frightened of?
They didn't seem to know what all was going on, and that's why there was disagreement about whether they should leave or not.
Oh, I see. So they were frightened, but they did not know why.
I mean, maybe they knew why, but I just met them for the first time. They didn't divulge those kinds of things.
I see. Go ahead and roll fast talk and take a penalty die.
Oh dear.
For reasons.
Oh. Anybody want to guess what my fast talk is?
Not good.
It is indeed a 5. So penalty die is an extra D10, right?
Extra D10, and you take the worst.
All right.
Extra D100, I should say.
Yeah. So I'm rolling just an extra D10 on the D100 roll.
Extra
you're rolling,
10s die.
Yeah, an extra 10 die.
Yeah.
She always makes it so more complicated.
Sorry.
It's always more
I'm going to take a couple boosts. I'm trying to roll under 25, but it's still not going to be really good.
Okay.
Yeah, no. 76 and 86.
Do you want to spend 51 points of luck to pass?
For context, I have 55 points of luck.
Do you want to spend it?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I'm being interrogated by the police. I feel like if there's a time to spend some luck, now would be the time to do that.
Okay. So he leans back in his chair. He really gives you a hard look. Looks at his notes. Looks at you. Takes a big breath.
Well, Miss Wynn, it appears you have come to Mexico City at a very bad time. For you are not wrong. There is a curious run of criminal activity. Let me ask you one more question, if you do not mind. Do you mind?
You are here to ask the questions. I am here to fail in answering them in any way
What
that's
can you
useful.
tell me about this?
And he reaches into his coat pocket and he pulls out a vial. He puts it on the table in front of you. It's very clearly nectar. You know exactly what it is.
Do you know what this is?
I don't know what it is.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, Miss Wynn, this is a substance that people in the area call nectar. Now, it is, for us here, it is a drug. It is not yet illegal, but it is a drug nonetheless. And when people consume it, they seem to lose control. So, the interesting thing, both Mr. Luna and Mr. Campos had some on them. And we have seen it pop up here and there. And somehow, the nectar trade within these neighborhoods seems to be tied somewhat to the music industry. Perhaps you did not know this, perhaps you did. But I find very
nectar?
Nectar, yes.
That was... Now that I didn't know the context, but they were arguing about nectar, but I didn't know what nectar meant.
I see. Well, it appears as though you have unfortunately caught up in a very difficult business. As I said, you have come here at a very terrible time. Mr. Luna, Mr. Campos, both seem to be involved, as does Mr. Cortez. It is very alarming, though, that yesterday you went to Mr. Cortez's home and you were shot. And today you go and you speak with Mr. Luna and you are attacked. And both men were found dead shortly thereafter. Perhaps you are not as unfortunate as you think. Perhaps there are others who have even worse luck than you. Thank you for answering my questions. I will send in Officer Blanco to return you to your cell.
And he gets up and he leaves. And you sit there in this empty room by yourself. We're going to end there. And we're going to pick up on that next time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
What a great session. Oh, man.
I just spent so much luck to try to help.
You did.
I can't believe you spent all that. I
So
would have never
much.
spent that luck.
I feel so fucking
You
bad.
literally would have been charged if you had failed.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
you're still under suspicion, but if you failed, they would have charged you. That's why I had you roll a penalty die, because you mentioned Victor Cortez. You didn't know that he was dead, but
I didn't know that he was dead.
I know.
But think of how much fun we could have had with a Mexican trial. That would have been
Ain't
so
gonna be
many
no
good
trial.
roleplay opportunities.
That could still happen.
Dum, 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 dum. Ash and I finally get to do the Law and Order idea.
Yes.
Dum, 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 dum. All right. Well, I'm glad everybody had a good time. I'm actually genuinely surprised that Marie's story, like I had no idea it was going to be Marie that was going to get caught up with the police there. Like,
To me too.
it started off so great. It started off so great.
Oh,
then things went sideways.
yikes.
So
The dice
Melissa, go ahead and
tonight.
start working on a new character for next time.
Oh.
We'll pick up the next morning with Patrick waking up, looking over to Pastor Wood with this nasty, horrific, disgusting pornography on his lap, just staring at stains.
And my
on the
clothes
walls.
are just soaked from holding this book all night.
Soaked.
Ew.
So soaked. It's gross, man. It's gross. All right. Anyhow, that's it for us for tonight. We'll continue next week with more Mexico City as the cops are now involved. Oh, well. There you go.
Because we do have such a reputation of having great interactions with the police in any of our campaigns.
You know what you guys have yet to try to do? Ever? Across Delta Green and Call of Cthulhu?
Lawyer up.
Talk to them and actually try to ally with them and tell them what you know and all that kind of stuff. You always try to circumvent every time. Every time.
I wanted to the first time with Gomez, but I also didn't want to, like, if he was corrupt, then I didn't want to deal with that. So I wanted to, like, feel him out.
You don't know that he's not corrupt. You got no clue.
I've got his business card. I might call him up later. We could be friends.
Sharon told the truth in her
Adios
own
speaking.
terrible way.
Yeah, it was fun. It was interesting seeing all the different ways you all talk to the cops. That was
a lot of fun.
It was
all right. Well, we'll do more next time. Why don't we go ahead and let's jump into plugs. So, Steven, if you wouldn't mind, please shutting the hell up so that Maitre can tell us about what she does on the internet. Go ahead there, Maitre.
Christ. Wish we were playing for 20 more minutes tonight, first of all. But apart from that, I am Mighty Plays Games on YouTube. Taking a bit of a hiatus for some personal real life stuff, but I'm hoping to get back to it shortly. But I do have a backlog of about 40 or 50 videos that talk about the system agnostic tabletops that center the dream and play space that you should check out if you want to check out.
Fantastic. And Steven, what have you been up to these days, man?
I've got a lot going on. I'm working on my own tabletop RPG called Huckleberry. This right here. It will be releasing, if I can get the Zoom to cooperate. Nope, now I just don't exist. It's releasing on August 1st, digitally. You'll be able to grab copies on DriveThruRPG. If you're at Gen Con, hit me up. You might be able to grab a physical copy. Or I'll try to run a game for you. Because I'll be there, and that's when it releases, and I'm trying to promote it. And now I'm rambling, which is something that's always good during these shout-outs. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Discord. If you want to play games online, join the Lollygagger Discord. Give a thumbs up to accept the rules. Click on the little cowboy hat for a howdy, and you'll be a play tester. And then you'll be able to play some Huckleberry events online. I try to run a play test every weekend, every other weekend. So first come, first serve. Come hang out with us. And then you get to see all the cool stuff that we post about Call of Cthulhu, too, where I call Melissa Eeyore and things like that.
I saw that.
Fantastic. Let's see what else we got going on. No one else does plugs? Okay, so yeah, the rest is just me. All right, so next game, Friday. Or no, that's not right. Monday, Fragged Empire.
Monday.
You could see me, Maitre, Melissa play through some Fragged Empire space shenanigans. Ton of fun. Come hang out. Tuesday, Steven broke his contract, which means we don't have a game on Tuesday because he decided that he thinks he has that power. So I guess no game.
We're going into litigation over it. We've lawyered up. We'll let you know how it goes.
It's very awkward, but we're being very professional about it here to continue the Call of Cthulhu game. Thursday, we've got Simba Room, where we just met a new character. Very excited, and we'll actually see that new character in action finally, because unfortunately we didn't really introduce her until the very end of the session because things went away. So yeah, come back on Thursday for that. Friday, you can see the same crew, everyone you see here, doing some Delta Green. It's a different style, Cthulhu hunting, but we're doing it. And then Saturday, obviously, we'll be back here. Also, check out the YouTube page, Adventures in Lollygagging, for all of our games, both current and past. You can see things like Aaron's Wonderful Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory. You can see Alien. You can see Frontier Scum, which Steve just finished up, and a lot of other great stuff. So that's what we got going on. If you're watching this later, or if you're listening to this on the podcast feed, we really do appreciate you as well. We're going to go ahead and we're going to let's raid Cyber Nation Uncensored. They're playing Cyborg from, I think Free League publishes that. I think that's like a cyberpunkian Morkborg thing. So let's go ahead and check that out. Have a great rest of your night and have a great rest of your weekend. See y'all later. Bye-bye.
I'll be seeing you.
Thanks to Codex.